I want my back. Literally did this exact motion. What's up, the Foreign Boy Gang? You already know how it is. You already know how we coming. Before we even get into this video, you already know what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to like, I need y'all to comment, and I need y'all to hit that subscribe button if y'all want to be a part of the Foreign Boy Gang. And if you're already a part of the Foreign Boy Gang, then wagwan my yuta dando. So today, So today what I got for y'all is, I'm about to be giving y'all a story time. So I'm sorry, I just did that little lame effect. I'm so sorry. That was very cringy. But today what I got for y'all is, I'm about to be giving you guys a story time on my first experience working as a cashier. Now y'all know, I am a little dense in the head. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm a little slow. You know, things don't come as fast to me as fast as it comes to most people. Don't come to this boy as fast. I gotta, you know, take me a little time. Take me like a little 2 days. But I'm gonna tell y'all my first experience, how I got cursed out. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So you guys know, I'm pretty sure you guys are like, oh, cashier and daycare. So as you guys know, my boss had 2 businesses. Her husband had a business and she had a business. So what happened was I had ended up switching into the restaurant. It was actually, I was actually kind of scared to switch to the restaurant than it actually being very nice. She had called me on Thursday night. She was like, hey, you don't have to come in till Tuesday to work at the restaurant. So I'm like, okay, that's good. So I'm getting ready for my weekend. So I go out, you know, enjoy my little weekend, boom, bada bing. And then Monday I come back, power's out. Tuesday. So she's like, oh, you don't have to come in on Tuesday. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So it's Wednesday. Now, mind you guys, I am kind of scared to go back to the restaurant because I felt like I was going to mess up. Because when I'm in a new atmosphere, especially a new work atmosphere that I'm totally not used to. I did work at the restaurant for like a day or 2 before I end up going to the daycare. But now I'm back at the restaurant. I'm like, okay, it should be easy, you know. I could do it. So she came to me and she was like, she texted me that morning. I was like, did you guys regain power? Because her power had went out too. And she's like, yeah, you can come in for 2 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start getting back in this money, get back in this money. Okay, guys, I'm sorry for the lame stuff, but I'm ready. I was ready to come back in and work for my money. So I came in that day. It was very smooth. He had told me that, you know, I'm going to be doing like basic stuff, like, you know, dropping the fries and, you know, the basic stuff like that, you know, nothing too hard. He's like dropping fries, you know, making them. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. I'm like, I could do this. So he taught me, you know, how to drop the fries and stuff. Boom, boom, boom. Now, mind you, she didn't tell me I was going to be cashier until a week later. She told me, she said she was going to teach me slowly. So I'm like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. She said she'll teach me day by day, little by little. So I'm like, all right then, that's fine. So mind you, when I go to restaurants, I be looking at the cashier and I be seeing what's on their screen, and that stuff be looking difficult. I be like, what is that sitting on their screen? But mind you, it kind of ended up getting very easy. Some altercation happened. Can't really explain that because I am not trying to bash. I'm just not gonna explain that because that's not my business. So altercation happened. I had to work to the register. I had to work with the register. So I had worked the register. She taught me how to do it. She taught me how to ring up food and the receipt. And she taught me how to, you know, grab the receipt out when, you know, I'm finished. You know, everything goes through. So I do the receipts, you know, boom, bada bing. So I started getting the hang of it little by little. So she was like, I want this. So I put it on my cashier. This. The you know, the little receipt come out, snatch it off, boom, your change is $1.93. Your cashier was Michael Clark. You know what I mean? So yeah, so basically that ended up, it was starting easy. Now she had to leave. So my heart instantly dropped. I'm like, leave? She had to go do something of her own. So she was like, you can handle it, right? And I'm like, yeah, I can handle it. It shouldn't be that hard. I'm thinking to myself, like, why? What did I just tell this lady? I'm like, did I really just sit there and tell that lady I could handle this cash register after only an hour of me trying to work it? Now, mind y'all, it still didn't come to me like that because, you know, a lot of people like to ask for extra stuff, you know, extra this, and, you know, I got to charge them for that. And she taught me a little bit of it, but, you know, it was still, she did her part. I'm not even gonna lie to you, she did her part, but mine was still, I was still a little uneasy. I'm like, I still kind of really don't know what to do. Now, mind you guys, this was my first food service job, so I'm like, okay, you know, this should be easy. Now, she did tell me I could sit at my phone while I'm at the, you know, counter. So, you know, one customer, maybe about 6 customers were coming in per hour. So, you know, it reaches almost time for me to go home. It reaches about like 6 o'clock, almost like 6 something. And next thing you know, a whole bunch of people starting to come in. I didn't even have time to go on my phone. So I was like, you know, I just turned my phone off and, you know, just stand up and wait with the checkbook, the ticket book at the register. So a lot of people are coming in. I'm taking their orders, writing it down. I'm putting it in the thing. I'm ringing it up. I'm like, oh, snap. I'm getting the hang of this. Now, here comes the cursing out part, how I got cursed out. So, this man walks in, and you guys know my Belize mask that I have on, you know, every vlog that I'm going outside, I have on my Belize mask. Like, it's no doubt about it. So I had on my Belize mask, and he's like, you know, you're from Belize? I'm like, no, my mother from Belize. So he was like, my wife is from San Pedro. So he was like, what part of Belize City your mom is? He didn't even let me finish the question before he said, is your mother from Don Riga? What part Don Riga there? Someone please tell me what part Don Riga there. It's Don Riga. So I was like, Don Riga? He's like, oh, that's what it's called? And I was like, no, my parents are not from Don Riga. It was like, it's pronounced Don Riga. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, you know, my wife is from San Pedro. I'm like, okay, you know, that's real nice. So he ordered, you know, 2 dinners. So I'm like, okay, 2 dinners, you know, it should be easy. So now his total came up to like $25. Put it in. I put the order in the back. So here's where I got overwhelmed. So I'm like, it started being a lot of people coming in. Towards the time that it's almost time for me to go home. Y'all want some food right before it's time for me to go home? Literally right before it's time for me to go home. Literally right before it's time for me to go home. Y'all want to decide y'all want some food. Like that is... So, you know, I just suck it up. A lot of people coming in, getting the orders put out. Now, mind you, I wasn't thinking about the servers as well. I'm putting the tickets in just one pile. Now, mind you, in the back, it's your tickets outlined for the orders that you're making. It's like in a line, order by number after. And then it's like a pointy thing that you put down the tickets on. So I was just putting them in a pile, and I'm like, you know, this, because it started to get busy. So I'm like, okay, I can't, you know, make sure. Now, mind you, I didn't think of the service. So I'm coming, running back to, you know, take people order, then bring it back. Okay, so I'm like, okay, that was a lot. So mind you, they kept out bringing everybody else's order except for his. Everybody else's order was coming out except for his. So I'm like, give me 1 sec, sir. Give me 1 sec, sir. Every time he kept coming back in, I could see this slowly start to like piss him off. So, you know, he was like, you know, so he came back in the final time. I think this was his final strike. He's like, I want my money back. Literally did this exact motion. I want my money back. Now, mind y'all, I've always seen people been rude to the cashier, but I've never been the cashier. So I'm like, I'm in my head. Now, mind you, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to lose my job. I'm in my head, I'm like, who the to talk to? Please tell me who the to talk to. So I didn't look upon myself. I'm like, who the need to talk to. Still thinking in my head, I'm like, sir. And I go back in the back to go see if they're, he's like, they're saucing him up right now. And I'm like, sir, they saucing you up right now. He like, I want my money back. Same motion with the little thing. He like, I want my money back. I'm like, sir, they saucing you up right now. So one of the servers come out and he says his order number and he takes it. He like, nah, I still want my money back. So obviously I don't think we're allowed to give him his money back. So he was like, oh, you know, my wife loved this place, da 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 da. And basically he was telling the server, he was like, y'all need some better staff, basically telling them to fire me. But everybody has a hard day. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It didn't make me feel bad, but you know, I was 1 second from telling him to go suck him out. But you know, that's me, cause he was yelling a little too. He was very, very aggressive. So I'm just feeling this energy off of him. I would have been like, you know, sir, what we're not gonna do is right here. You're not gonna like try to curse me out. So basically, he still, you know, end up me taking his food, bada bada bing, and then I hear the waitress in the back saying that they need a new cashier. So I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, this day is crappy. Like, this day is not it. So they came in, and I had to get ready for this number. I had a total of 4 orders that were made, but were never picking up. So basically, I kind of was having them in the back making unnecessary food that they weren't supposed to be making. So that was, you know, on my end. So now it comes to the end of the night. So I don't know. Okay, so she had an old school cash register. I believe it's old school. It's not touchscreen. It's like the one with you basically make your own tiles on the cash register and you just type it and then you press cash and whatever money they give you, you put it in. So it's now time for me to calculate the rest of my money. So I go in, you know, I'm ready. So I was almost at least like $90 off of what I had in my register. Like, my tickets didn't equal up with the money I had in my register. So that means A, I was either overcharging people, like I'm talking about charging the hell out of them and not knowing, or I was just, you know, not paying attention at all. And mind you, I didn't even use my phone that much at the desk, so I know it wasn't my phone that was ticking me off. It was just a lot of people and it was like overwhelming. So I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, this is very overwhelming. But you know, that day I will always remember that day, because if I see that man one day, I'm gonna let him have it, you know what I mean? So, you know, it was that day for your boy really like put it in my head, like I gotta step it up. Literally, I have to like put some pep in my step, because that should not happen. So, you know, it was just that day was so weird to me. It was like, it was just, you know, it almost felt weird. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and you already know how I do. I chuck the deuces.